Okay, I think it's time for another long overdue layout update video thing, I guess. As you can see, I got my SW1 back on the tracks. I love that thing. I also got the handcar shed installed right here next to the track. And it's got the lights inside, controlled by that switch there. I also have a major chunk of ballasting and wiring done. As you can see, I got all the ballast on the main tracks here done. Switch points still work, even though they're ballasted, and that one just popped out. They do work still. We're running trains there. I also put a little bit of rust-colored paint on some of the frogs and points in that. I might do the rails. I might actually lighten that up a little bit. I got a switch installed there, which will go to another switch there, which will lead into my yard. I got ballasting done there. This is part of my bus system, the filler car I'll have going around, which I'll have the other part of it. There'll be actually a railroad crossing right here going over the switch, just because I don't want to have a loop road. I want to have kind of a broken up road that cuts through different areas, but the busing's going a circle, so you'll have a little driveway right there that'll cut through. I also have the beginning of that road leading into there, which will actually be dirt right here, but I want to put some pavement stuff down to kind of make it smooth transition from the main road to the dirt area, and then I'll put dirt over top of it. Make sure it's glued down real good and solid. Put the wire in there and all that. I also have this crossing in, as well as the crossing lights installed, but they're not wired up to anything yet because I don't have a crossing controller. And I could put a little tile switch in there, a little 3-position that flash them back and forth. I also have the road done. There's a bit of a color difference right here, and that's because this is supposed to be concrete and this is supposed to be asphalt. But different paint right here and here. I gotta change up the transition. I also have Paul's Pool Hall. That's what that's going to be. I gotta get a sign for it and get an interior, but it's in there. It is actually controlled directly from track power, but if I have a switch set that I can turn on and off track main power and still have select between main line and my programming track. It is actually tied in right at where power comes out of my quote-unquote booster. It's tied in right to the back of this. You also can see I got a parking lot put in. And I do have green paint down to represent grass, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put over top of that some ground cover. I might have to pull up my trees to do that, but yeah, it's not that big a deal. I can put them back down. I got this intersection and it looks rough. That's because the stuff is still wet, and I got to let it dry a little bit before I can start smoothing it out. Notice though that it's I think it's plaster stuff. I don't know. I can't read the boxes. It's all German stuff, but you notice it's actually concrete gray. What I did is I mixed paint in with the mix, so it might take a little longer for it to dry. I got ballast all the way up to right here. I have this crossing, and I do have these two spots painted. I might change them. They're going to be concrete. Concrete and asphalt are different colors. Asphalt's a little darker, concrete's a little lighter, so that will probably, that's why I want concrete around crossings, because that's typically what they put around some crossings I've seen at least. I kind of like that look over just asphalt and wood planks. And then I got this started right here, just a little bit of that stuff. I had a little bit left over, so I poured it right there and then that other spot. I do have the wire partially in. I don't know if you can see it. It's that kind of ugly looking line. Next pour I'm going to put just a thin bit of the stuff over top of the wire for the bus. That is the bus. It's going to get repainted. And you can see the line right in there, kind of in that groove. It really stands out. But if I can do some work, I got some plans to change that up. What else? I always like to fall over. It's Paul's Pool Bar. I don't know. Not much has changed wiring wise, except for it's still a big mess under there. It's somewhat organized. Might be kind of hard to see. Well, maybe not. But right there. Focus. are feeder wires. And yes, there is solder on top of the rail. That's there kind of intentionally. It is filed smooth. If I put a car with free rolling wheels right here, with the wheels on this side of the solder, and it starts to roll forward, that solder's a slight little bump, just enough that the free rolling wheels don't roll over it. Kind of like a built-in brake, if you want to say. I still have all back through there to still wire up and ballast. There is track back under all those boxes. I'll take care of it eventually. And I still got my river to cut, but I got to get Sawzall blades first, and I got to build that area. And I want to finish my roads. So like, well, I'm going to do the river and the roads junction. This corner right here, I'm debating changing it. I might actually chisel out all that plaster. There actually is ballast under the plaster. I did the ballast and then the road over top. It's like a plaster, I'm going to say. But I'm debating chiseling that out and putting another crossing right here, kind of an older, unused crossing right here, and taking this track and curving it. Because right now, as it stands, that's about 4 inches too far out, and I don't want to cut 4 inches off of the track. I want to keep it longer, and if I curve it, it would give me more track space. Well, the reason that is it's too far out, and I really can't close my bedroom door if I need to. But another project another time. Another thing that I've done, I've probably showed this before, but I have 2 nails here, which I use to hold my hammers in place. I also have 2 nails over here. One for my box cutting knife, which I also use to cut groove in the road a little bit, cut anything that needs any boxes or anything that might need to be opened. Roadbed material, the roadbed foam. This one here is for nails, or not nails, but my jumper wires that hang off of that. I got one here for electrical tape, measuring tape, scissors. You know, helps keep the tools out of the way. But I added this right here. Just a little block of wood that I screwed in. I drilled 2 holes, just big enough to put my good screwdrivers through. It helps keep tools off the layout. And as you can see, I also have I got a stump right there. It looks like bubble gum in the camera, but it's a tree stump. You can see that I did put some brown down. The idea behind putting the green grass paint down and then a little bit of brown over top is that when I put the ground cover on, if there are any open spots, instead of seeing either dirt, which would make sense, but rather than seeing dirt or anything, you're still going to see green grass. It's going to look like very thick, full green grass. I did try and weather the light posts there for crossing lights, and I kind of did a little bit of weathering on that orange car. The cars aren't in the places they're going to be permanently, especially that bus that's going to be driving. And I know I'm doing my scenery kind of out of order. You're supposed to do like all the track and then the ground cover, then the ballast and all that. But I'm doing it in my own order. I'm doing it however I want, and that's what's working for me. And yeah, you can really see here the rusted parts of the track. Here, I'll zoom in. I only got about a minute left before this video's going to be too long for YouTube. Right there you can see that I did put a rust on the metal parts of a switch, and you can see there are isolated rail joiners right there. Track next to it, there isn't. I'm going to just cut one of those rails with a Dremel as soon as I get my hands on one. And a couple of little hidden details I'm going to show off. Right there, there's an old rail dropped down into the track, between the track. And then over here, there's a tie right there buried in there. I'm going to hide other little things throughout the ballast and throughout the layout. Other little funny things. Alright, that's it so far. Plugging away. One spike at a time.